Today we're doing proactive remediation and spraying in an area where we expect a lot of people to be coming in the next weekend with the start of Merrie Monarch. This is a proactive response to kind of knock down any mosquitoes and to assess the environment for any mosquito breeding grounds, any arborage points where more mosquitoes may be living, and just to make the area, certainly have less mosquitoes in general. So this area is of concern because there's a lot of activities around Merrie Monarch week that happen here. Performances here at the tennis stadium are, every night for that week, I believe. But then there's also a bunch of activities in the surrounding area. With the large amount of people coming in, where they're parking, other activities, craft fairs going on, there is, certainly a lot of point to interact with mosquitoes. So whatever we can do to reduce the amount and the amount of mosquitoes here in general will be good. This is not to say that there is an active case that we're pursuing here. In fact, the most recent case has, doesn't really seem to have a strong link to East Hawaii. It seems still more out in West Hawaii. So there's not a lot of reason to think that there is a live dengue case here. However, with this influx of people, whatever we can do to minimize the risk of an opportunity like that to occur, we want to make sure that there's no mosquitoes. Visitors, I don't believe should be concerned. There is, like I said, there's not a lot of activity in East Hawaii. However, we are a mobile population here, and even visitors themselves may want to go to Kona. They may want to go to Waipio, where there has been recent activity in recent weeks. And there is, just a general consensus that everyone on this island has a part to play, and everyone should be taking precautions to fight the bite. So one of the methods that what we're doing today here in this area is really just knocking down the adults. Of course, we're also assessing for breeding grounds to be of mosquitoes, but in a large area like this, you're not going to have a lot of, natural habitats for mosquitoes. We're interested more in containers that could be, anything that collects water. So it could be a storm drain, it could be a garbage can, it could be something left out for whatever reason that collects water. So knocking down those adults is really just to decrease the immediate risk. If there was a mosquito here that did have dengue, hopefully today's actions will kill that adult immediately. And if there was any chance of a potentially infectious person in this area that could have infected a mosquito, hopefully that mosquito is no longer alive after today's treatments. And unfortunately, outbreak situations like this do tend to have occasional incidents popping up, even certainly after the larger numbers have done. And so there's no reason to believe that there may be other infected people that haven't been reported, right? So certainly, whenever a case like this happens, the protocol is the same, where we can throw everything we have at this particular case. That means, interacting with the person promptly, spraying their property, and giving them their status as soon as possible, so they can change their own behaviors and stop the transmission to other people. So where we know about this case is there hasn't been, where that person lives, where that person may have gotten it, doesn't really seem to be in this particular location. Like I said, these efforts are not as a result of that particular case, but it is a result because of the large influx of people expected for this event. I'd like to, kind of start, I believe on this particular instance, and with a dengue fever outbreak on this island, I think we as an island residents have come to kind of, our innocence with mosquitoes in general has kind of been broken. We can no longer look at them as just a nuisance. We have to recognize that, with a global economy and large global travel, that these kind of emerging diseases can take hold in places where they've never been before. And I think that's the challenge of where we are today. This outbreak does seem to be diminishing, but where we go from here, I think we really have to challenge the idea of people's ideas about mosquitoes. They are not just something that bothers you when you sit on your lanai and it is a pest. This scenario has shown that there is possibilities for larger issues to health. And so I think that we have, that is the challenge. We have to challenge people's perceptions about mosquitoes in general in order to push this further to make sure that down the line, we as a community can respond in a much better way.